Hello everybody, I'm OCDsaster and this is OCDsaster Blue, my Sonic exclusive channel where everything we do here is Sonic related. So if that sounds like something your speed, consider subscribing and checking out some other videos after this one. Last month we celebrated Sonic's 35th birthday, and man oh man was it a celebration to be had. There was a live stream, there were announcements, there was media press releases, but there was one thing that was missing from all this glorious content: a new Sonic game. If I had to use Sonic's own ranking system to rank the Sonic celebration, his 35th anniversary, the month of June, I would give it an overall score of a B. I don't think that it was bad, but I also don't think it gave us a lot to chew on, and it definitely wouldn't be an S rank. S rank would be if they announced the AAA Sonic game or something of that level. Now, I understand that Sega had a huge business shakeup over the past few months and have canceled some really big projects to now focus on big titles that they know is going to make them cash and moolah. And Sonic is right there as one of their flagships, if not the flagship of Sega, if I really had to make that argument. So I would not be surprised if we get this AAA Sonic game by holiday of next year. However, I do feel a little iffy about it, because I would really like them to take their time and really bake the game and make sure that it's very, very structured, organized, tight controls, it feels fast, it feels like Sonic, but also provides something new. So I'm okay with them taking their time. However, we can't go a whole year without another Sonic game. Sonic Racing Crossworlds has been great. I've had a lot of fun playing it. I love that they're doing more content. They have a roadmap. They're trickling out free DLC and paid DLC to keep things going. They're rebalancing gadgets. They're adding festival modes. They're doing everything they can to this live service to keep it up and running, and I think they've been doing a solid job, unlike some other video game companies that as soon as they see the dollar signs and profits going down, they immediately kill the game and don't refund the players. I'm starting to worry that Sonic Racing Crossworlds isn't going to be enough to sustain the fans and myself quite selfishly for a whole nother year. So even if this AAA Sonic game does come out next year by holiday, we still have a very long time until that happens, and we're just chomping at the bit for something. There's been a lot of collaborative pieces, there's been a lot of crossover stuff, but there hasn't been a Sonic title, and it doesn't need to be a AAA Sonic game either. I think a simple, side-scroller, a spin-off, if you will. I know we've gotten some, maybe Sonic Spinball, I think I saw, stuff like that, but something enough to keep us occupied. Not to the degree of Shadow Generations, which was pretty much a half game, but something that's like a quarter of that type of content. Heck, maybe even just give us some more DLC for Shadow Generations. I know publicly they've said they're not looking into doing reboots or remakes of previous Sonic titles, remasters, but it would be really cool if they kind of walked back on that a little bit, if there's enough fan demand. No, I'm not saying Sonic Unleashed. I don't know why all of you love that game so much. There's been so much revisionist history on it. Sonic Unleashed is not a good game. Maybe the mod you played that makes it better and run smoother is, but the base Sonic Unleashed game is not good. The day levels are goated, but the night stages as the Werehog are a chore. The music just keeps repeating, the combat is clunky, and there is no substantive value there. You all need to stop. Whew. Now that I got that off my chest, and 5 to 20 people unsubscribed, Sega and Sonic Team have always had this weird balance and dance with the fans. There's so many different types of Sonic fans, from the retro days to the modern era to the new boost formula. There's so many different types of Sonic games, Sonic genres, and Sonic fans. And a lot of them are toxic too. So when it comes to deciding what remakes or remasters to do, I think they really have to be careful on what deciding. And I think that might be the ultimate decision on why they decided not to continue with these, or at least say that they're not going ahead with these. Another reason they wouldn't really go in this direction is because of the fans themselves in the sense of the modding community. They allow people to mod and do remakes of their games in Unreal Engine and Unity, and I love that. I love that creative collaboration, and as long as people are not trying to sell these games and just allow you to have it as an open source and for free, then I don't see any problem with it. But also, that means if there's some really good creators out there that are already doing Sonic Heroes or Sonic Adventure 2 in a new engine, making it look better, making it even play better than the original, then why would Sega or Sonic Team even put time, energy, and most importantly, money into developing these things if the fans are already outsourcing themselves? We're in a really weird place for Sonic because we got a little bit for the 35th anniversary, but not enough to hold us over for the long haul. And I know, once again, I sound like a whiny, spoiled Sonic fan, but really think about the latest Sonic games that we got. It's Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and then I guess you can count Sonic Frontiers Definitive Edition, but that's really just a glorified Switch 2 port. And I know I'm not going to be getting that because I can just play all of the content on my PS5. So it's really just an interesting kind of case that we have here, and I'm sure all of us are patiently waiting this AAA game, and although I do hope that they tease and announce it sooner rather than later, I do also want them to take their time. So what could be the kind of mediator for this? What is the compromise? If they're not going to do the AAA Sonic game within a year's time, let's say 3 or 4 or 5 months out, and they're not going to do a remake or remaster of classic Sonic titles, what could they do? What could Sega and Sonic Team do for the fans that could allow them to play other Sonic games versus the mobile and cross worlds? A part of me wanted to suggest they do a Sonic fanverse, similar to FNAF, but the FNAF showed that that model does not work at all, and it would go downhill very, very quickly. I really am at a loss on a solution here, which is why I'm kind of just impatiently shaking my leg for when the next bit of content and information comes out, because I'm a casual Sonic player. I don't play the mobile games. I don't play the niche, smaller portions of the game. I really just play Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, Shadow Generations, and a few of the more retro iconic ones like Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Heroes. I would really like to know your guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comment below on what you think we could see in the upcoming future of Sonic. In a year's time, it will be that AAA game, hopefully, if not that a little bit further out. But what's going to fill in the gap there? I know we have Sonic Movie 4, but that's not a game. That's just an overall product that's just a part of Sonic. And they will do marketing for that and stuff too, but maybe we could get an Amy Rose spin-off game to tie in with the movie. That would be really cool. And when I say tie in with the movie, I don't think they're ever going to have the video games tie in with the actual movie. I think they're just going to have a separate Amy Rose game to help market the Year of Amy, possibly, which could be really cool because there's a lot of moves that Amy can do that's different from the rest of the Sonic cast. I'm thinking all the way back to Sonic Adventure DX, where I think that moveset shined the most. I personally would love that, but would also really enjoy a Super Smash Bros. Type game in which Sonic fights the rest of his cast. However, I think that's even more slim than all of the other things that I've discussed in this video. But with that being said, I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a super Sonic rest of your day. See ya.